Wood aging and mead. Let's put it to the test. So Ken from Barrel Char Wood Products sent me a sampler pack of their woods a while ago. I'll admit it was a long time ago. We're just now getting to it, but I think we have the perfect mead to use for this. This is actually the hulls versus no hulls mead test that we did. This is the hulls version. It has kind of an odd color. I just noticed that today. It's more like a brown than an amber, which is a little bit strange, but it smells fine. Everything else about it is perfectly fine. It was still sitting in primary, by the way. Yeah, that just shows you how long. That was from, let me check. That was from September of 2020. It's April of 2021. So when people start freaking out that they have to get it off the lease, they have to get it off. No, you don't. This stuff was sitting there for 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 7 months on the lease.
Just for science, we're going to take a quick taste of it right now.
Now, we're doing this just as kind of a control because, you know, we want to make sure that it's fine. It smells like a mead.
It certainly does.
It smells like a decent mead. It's not super clear. I was actually kind of surprised at that. These two didn't really clear. Though this is the one with the hulls that we've seen tends to have a little more trouble clearing.
It's a lot sweeter than I was anticipating.
Yeah, this is a sweet mead.
Yep.
Tastes yummy, though.
It does taste yummy.
This is lovely. I'm drinking it.
That's fine. All right, so to continue our control, we did that just to make sure, in case something weird and untoward occurred, we would be aware before we started this, and we wouldn't ruin these beautiful samples.
So we're starting with a good product.
We're starting with good products, so check that box
Also,
off
one thing
first.
I'd like to point out, the sampler package that we were sent has 4 different wood samples in it. We have 1 gallon of mead, and we need to keep a non-wooded control sample, so we only are going to sample 3 of these today. We will do the birch, which is the one left out of this, at another time. But today we are doing sugar maple medium toast, which, by the way, when you put it in hot water, which you should do, and I'll get to that in a minute, smells like maple syrup. Just so you know, probably my favorite already.
It's yummy.
Just saying. Then we have French oak medium plus toast, and then we have cherry medium toast. This is their standard sampler. There's going to be a link to their website and their Etsy page in the description, so you can go there and check them out and purchase all their stuff. But anyway, what you want to do is we put these in mason jars because the sticks are a little bit big for a bottle, and we didn't think that was too convenient to get back out again. And you want to put boiling water into those bottles. Let them sit for 10 to 15 minutes. That pulls out a little bit of the tannins and starts things going. It also sanitizes them, so they're nice and clean. So these jars have been cooling. They're still warm to the touch, but they're not super hot. And I'm just going to pour the mead in them because I'm not going to get crazy about this.
But you do have the option to auto siphon or do whatever transfer method you choose.
Use your mouth, you know.
In your
spit them in there.
Samples.
Well, you said whatever they choose.
They're allowed.
That's a little concerning.
Okay,
so
well.
You don't see the comments. I see some serious comments. I'm just trying to get an equal amount into each one. Kind of guessing. Probably going to have to fill them all 3 times. Look at that, though.
So we had enough to fill our 3 tester subjects and 2 controls.
So we have a 16 ounce and a 12 ounce. This one is no longer a control. This one's going to get drank. But what we're going to do now is these are going to age. Okay, they're gonna age on oak or on whatever wood it happens to be. And every couple of weeks, like I figure about the first one we'll do in 2 weeks, we're going to take a small sample from each one and taste it. Once they are at their peak, we'll pull the woods out, okay? And then they can sit until we get them all done, which may be different times because different ones may become too much too quickly, that kind of thing. And then we want to taste them all together and determine, you know, what the differences are, what we like. It's not so much is there a favorite or is one better than another? That's not what this test is about. This is really just to see the differences that wood aging makes to a mead, as well as the different types of wood, what their effects are. And we used an aged mead. When you really think about it, this is from September, so this is already 7 months old, now going into the bottle. It'll probably be a couple months before this gets tasted, so this will be almost a year old when we actually get to it, which is a really cool thing when you think about it. But you'll see this in just a couple minutes, the next part of this test.
So it's been 3 weeks, and we've found some interesting things already. Some things we expected, and some things we definitely didn't expect.
So what we're going to do, this is not really a scientific test so much as a, what do we like best? Or is this enough aging time on the wood? That's really all this is about. So there's no blind here other than us. We don't actually know which these three are. I think that one's the sugar maple, but I'm not sure. But it doesn't really matter because it's more about the differences between them and personal preference. I'm just really curious because I've never had all these woods side by side to test. So that's kind of neat. So what we'll do is we'll start with the control. This is just the basic one. And I'm going to hold up the control next to this one, which, let me just see what it is. French oak. So this is a more traditional way of oaking. It's using French oak. And if I look at them, the French oak is actually slightly cloudier, but not by a lot. Just very mildly cloudier. The colors, though, are the same. Okay.
I see an infinitesimal slight bit of darkening in the French oak.
You think it's darkening, or is it just the cloudiness, though?
It could be the cloudiness.
Yeah. And this one is cherry. Now, cherry, I would have thought would give a color difference.
We did notice as soon as we put the cherry into it, we could see the color leaking out.
It seemed to change it.
I'm surprised that the colors are so similar.
It really didn't change. It is ever so slightly cloudy. Not as much as the French oak, but it is ever so slightly cloudy. And then we have the one that I have high hopes for, the sugar maple. I think this one's going to be amazing. It is the cloudiest of all of them, though, by quite a bit. Like it's pretty murky. I mean, it looks like an uncleared brew at this point. It looks like something young.
And now that Brian is holding that one up to the light, and
there's color.
I can tell that that's the cloudiest. I am thinking that the slight darkening of the French was probably from the cloudiness as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I do see a slight difference in color in the sugar maple, but it's hard to say because of the cloudiness. I'll say that much. But let's just see. This is the control. So this is just a basic mead.
Just by holding up and setting down the maple.
You can smell it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have high hopes for that one. Okay, so on the smell, it's a lovely mead. I mean, this is just our basic mead. Nothing super fancy here. And I'm just going to take a little sip. This was a sweeter mead. Tastes lovely. It's aged like almost a year now. It's really, really nice. Should we be swishing with water?
Yeah.
All right. Water swish. Just want to cleanse the palate a little bit. It's not super critical here. French oak is next. Interestingly, the smell is not that different. Now, I've been told various times for oaking, anywhere from 2 weeks to like 6 months. Most people recommend anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. I don't know. That doesn't really smell any different to me. Oh, nope. A little bit stronger. A little bit stronger smell.
Yeah, I'm getting...
A little bit of oak. Vanilla is what I get.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of vanilla on that.
Yeah, it adds, on the aroma, it adds a slight bit of complexity to it. So it's like the control bumped up a notch.
Yeah, that's why at first I didn't smell it much different. And then I was like, oh, wait, there's something there. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Takes this from good to amazing.
That was shocking.
Wow.
That was legitimately shocking to me, the difference. I was looking at the color range.
I'm oaking everything from here forward. Oh my God, that was amazing.
I wasn't expecting anything. And then that was just like pure velvet on the palate.
Yeah, it smoothed out any harsh notes. Not that there was much harsh notes in that one, but it smoothed it right out. I get marshmallow, vanilla, and caramel, and all these flavors. Oh, wow, that's so good.
Moly.
I have high hopes for the rest of them.
I was not expecting that response.
No,
that was all my hope was right here in this bottle. This was all my hope. And now tasting that, I'm just like, Sign me
We have
up.
2 more to go. Swish.
Sorry.
It's all right. See, now, this one, I get a little bit more of a woodsy, not the oak. Like, this one is oak. This one is cherry. On the cherry, I get more of a woodsy green wood smell, which doesn't smell as nice as the French oak. It's unique. It's a little different.
But I'm almost getting, when I breathe in really deeply, I almost get like a spiced note.
A little bit.
So I'm wondering if cherry might really punch up a metheglin.
Well, let's find out. Not really. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's good. It added to the original, but that green wood flavor came through for me on the initial. But as it's sitting, it's actually not bad. It's sweeter. It does taste a little sweeter now.
I think this would actually be good for our tea-based meads.
Yes, I think so. It seems to add more tannin, which is what it does. But this time it added a green tannin. It
like
was
a fresh, young, sweet.
Don't get my reaction wrong. I was expecting it to be more like this one, and it's not at all.
No.
Very different. Completely different. Right now, if I tasted these two and someone told me that it was my basic mead, I wouldn't believe them because it doesn't taste anything like it at all anymore. That's really awesome. Man, we're going to oak more stuff. I'm gonna order a bunch of stuff from his store. All right, on to the one that we hyped up that hopefully now lives up to it. So far, the French oak is my favorite. I love that. That's fantastic. And that's why French oak has been used for centuries for oaking wines and whiskeys and things like that. On the smell, it's a little more subdued than I expected. Yeah, see, this one is like candy on the smell. Not as much. It's a little subdued. More scent than on the original. Don't get me wrong. The original mead is really good. I would drink that. You see what I mean? It's just subdued. It's not quite as forward.
Yeah, but it smells
really good.
Still good.
Good gift taste.
I don't know. I was still blown away by that one. It's like
The French oak is amazing.
we had no idea.
We're on sugar maple now. Now, the sugar maple, when I was putting these together, smelled incredible, and I was just really hoping this was going to be amazing. It doesn't disappoint.
It is very nice.
I still like the French oak better.
I still like the French oak better, too.
This is like just a notch below it.
Yeah.
I think the French oak just has a more powerful flavors. This is a little more sedate, or because we had the French oak first, this one doesn't seem as strong. But honestly, all three of them came out amazingly good and so uniquely different.
This one reminds me more of whiskey.
Yeah, a little bit. I can definitely get that. There's a stronger caramel and vanilla flavor, whereas this, now I got to go back and taste this one. Oh, there's a flavor in there that I can't place. It's a sweeter flavor. It's not marshmallow, but it's almost a candy. Not really caramel or caramel, because people just don't like the way I say caramel. Everybody where I'm from says caramel. I had never heard caramel until I moved to Florida. So there's that.
It, in an odd way, reminds me of Jolly Ranchers.
Okay, I'm not getting Jolly Rancher. I can see where you're coming from with that. There's a sweetness that it added that is really incredible, and it's very unique. There's a flavor that I cannot place. I don't get it in whiskeys. I get it in this.
Yeah.
The French oak is incredible. Wow. Let me have some more of this. I'm not swishing anymore because the test is over. Now I'm just enjoying it.
Okay, so we actually debated on whether we were going to film this today because Brian wanted to give them more time, and I said, well, the time range that was suggested was 2 weeks to
4 weeks or so.
4 weeks. So we're at the 3-week mark. That seemed like a good starting base. And then if we decided it wasn't doing anything, we could always do it again because we have plenty to test from. Man,
it seems like 3 weeks is the sweet spot. You could go further, but I don't know that you're going to get much gains. At that point, you might get more of the bitter qualities coming through.
Yeah. I'm not really getting any of the bitter notes.
The only one that I get anything bitter from is this one here, the cherry. And I attribute that to cherries are not a sweet fruit, right? We sweeten them to make them sweet. They're actually very tart. I'm kind of getting that tartness in it, but it's not really bitter. It's more of a tart. It's just nowhere near as sweet as the other three. Like it actually took the sweetness level down from the original, whereas these two feel like they sweetened it up. It certainly added complexity to it. I mean, it made it better than the original, I will say. But it added more harsh notes in a way that made it interesting rather than bad.
Right.
It didn't mellow it, where these two were mellowed so smooth. Like I almost want to add more tannins to the original if I'm going to use the French oak, because I think it smooths it like so much that it's too much. But it's so amazingly good. But I appreciate this one, but this would be my least favorite. I think the French oak is my favorite. I mean, of the four, let's just go all four. French oak is my favorite. I would have to put the original and this one as about equal to me, and then this one would be my least favorite. But that doesn't mean I don't like it.
I feel that now that we've done this with just a generic mead, no flavors added, other than the oaking, that this just opens. This is like Pandora's box. We open the lid and just, and so now I'm like, oh well, would that boost a tea, because this made me think of that hibiscus tea because I've been drinking a lot of it lately. Would that boost that, or would that add that element to something that's lacking it? So you have to think about those type of things. Would you use this to give something in a mead that's lacking something?
I will.
Or would you put this in a mead that it's similar to already, just to heighten and boost those flavors?
Yeah, it's an extra level of tool. It's another tool to use. And it's funny because we haven't done a lot of oak aging. We tend to drink our stuff rather young or let it sit for a really, really long time. This is a whole other ballgame for ways to alter a current mead. And I'm thinking of some of our meads that we made that they were good, but could have been a little bit better. Would oaking have put them over the top, like my spiced metheglin? I may have to make it a 9 and put it on French oak, and then it's an 11. Because
I'm concerned about using the French oak on your spiced metheglin, because I don't want it to smooth out all those spice notes for you, because that might disappoint.
True.
I think, this is absolutely fantastic, and both Brian's are my favorite in the tasting today. But I think this would be perfect because it just smoothed everything out. It made everything just so smooth that if you had a brew that you liked, but it had a little bit of discordant in it, it had a little competing notes.
The lemon mead.
Use that in it, and it'll just smooth it out. And
the lemon mead was one that we both had high hopes for that didn't come out exactly the way we liked. The raisin mead was another one that was like so close, but not quite there. We just made a very dry mead that I think on French oak would make it incredibly good at a young age too. So I think I'm going to have to place an order.
I think Brian just wants to French oak everything now.
Yes, I do. Yeah. All the things. Because it was, honestly, it was that good. When I put them as 1, 2, 3, it's like 1, can you even see my hand? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's the distance between them. Keep in mind, this one, the control.
Careful there.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was still meat in there. I thought I emptied it.
Better take care of that.
Yep, I will. That one, my control, was one of my favorite meads ever. Now, this was a simplified version of it, but still one of my favorite meads ever. To be able to take it up that many notches, that's just awesome to me with something very simple to do. So, If you haven't tried out oaking, we have links in the description to the products that you see right here. I highly suggest trying these because these are what we used and these are what worked. I have oaked things before and did not see such a pronounced effect. It was not the impeccable quality that we're seeing here. So I highly suggest these products. They're really not even expensive, and they would appreciate the business.
You know those barbecue places that say it's the wood that makes it good?
Yeah.
They weren't lying.
Exactly. I know all this stuff is hand-picked and charred just perfect. So yeah, this is the stuff to use. I'm literally going to go buy more like as soon as we're done filming so that I can start oaking some other things. I'm not even saying that for the video. She's laughing because she knows I'm not lying. I'm going to go do it.
I'm going to have to make a path for him to get out of here.
Yeah. But anyway, if you like this video, look up. There's another one up there. You might like that one too.